Let's talk about coping mechanisms for grief so that you're not getting stuck in the suck, because so many people, even professionals nowadays, are just promoting to talk about your feelings in order to process them, but just talking about them doesn't actually do a lot of good. Let's talk 3 ways to actually process grief, depression, and anxiety in order to move forward with your life. I'm Magnify Maggie. I'm the creator of the Magnify method, which helps you think different in order to drink different or never again. And for me, almost 16 years of dangerous, binge, addictive drinking was fueled by my depression from my grief and loss of loved ones. I look at pictures around this special room and I see family photos where I'm actually the only one that's still alive, which means that throughout my life, I've had to experience and process grief time and time again. And finally, I learned how to do that so that I'm not turning to the bottle or turning to self-sabotage in order to do so. My first tip for anybody that's struggling with grief and loss or even troublesome memories, anything that you've done in the past that you feel like you're a failure now for, I want you to take all of the things that remind you of that failure or of that grief and loss and consolidate it into one safe space that when you feel those emotions arise through triggering experiences or maybe like a date that reminds you of that person that you lost, you can go to this safe space and it can be your designated area to do things that allow you to process emotions. Things like listen to music. Music is vibration and allows us to get into the emotional state to let it go. Listen to music that's going to help you feel better in the end. You might need to cry it out heavily. I'm talking sobbing. I'm talking letting the tears flow, screaming at the top of your lungs, because in the end, you're going to be able to walk out of your safe space feeling lighter. Now, I know that everybody doesn't have the availability to create an entire room for their safe space. That's why a lot of psychologists and even philosophers have pointed to the inner safe space. As human beings, we have an inner world. Earl Nightingale called it his sacred room that he would kind of detach away from the world and go into internally to be able to remember those people or remember the good, remember the positives, and feel those emotions. Now, I know that's a little in-depth, so if you're not ready for that either, let's talk about maybe the middle point. Is there an area of your house, a shelf, somewhere that's kind of out of the high traffic area so you're literally not triggering yourself every time you walk in the door, but it's this little area that you have to go and to sit and remember and even talk and think and imagine so that you're not triggering yourself time and time again, but you're giving yourself that little safe space. All right, tip 2, we're gonna talk about some physical ways to express emotions, not just talking about it. I mentioned screaming. So if you can come into your safe space, or you can do this anywhere really, get a pillow and literally scream into it. Scream at the top of your lungs, let it out. Just like crying, you need to get the suppressed emotion out of your body. And if you've always been trained to not talk about things or not show your emotion, oh, if you're crying, wipe your face, you're definitely feeling the long-term effects of suppressing those emotions. So I love just getting my designated pillow, and I know that I'm sounding like a crazy person right now, but literally going all in. Put your face in the pillow, scream as loud as you can. You can even do some added physicality, like throwing the pillows at the wall. Tip number 3 is just to keep in mind the mind-body connection. When your mind is feeling these emotions, this is why talking alone does not help. When your mind is feeling these emotions, you have to express them physically. We've talked about crying and screaming, but some of those other emotions might be more sad, a little bit lower energy levels. So you can come into your safe space, your room, or even the area of your house that you've deemed next to your shelf or something, and really just go within yourself and calm yourself down and meditate. So it's kind of relating the emotion to the actual physicality. If it's anger, do something really aggressive. And if it's something a little bit lower energy like sadness and depression, then go into your quiet space and let yourself shut down for a moment. Don't be a bully to yourself just for going a little bit lower energy. That's not laziness. That's you taking care of yourself and recharging. I know these 3 tips seem really simple, and that's what makes them amazing, that you can literally take these right now, go somewhere in your house or go somewhere in your inner world and practice these steps so that you're actually handling those repressed and suppressed emotions. Go ahead and message me anytime if you need this type of help in your life on a personal level, because grief and loss, depression and anxiety can leave us stuck in the past and stuck in the bottle, and I do not want that for you any longer. Okay, I know this wasn't my usual happy-go-lucky Magnify Maggie YouTube channel video, but I definitely see it as necessary. So make sure you comment which one of these tips was most helpful for your heart today, and let me know what you want to see next to help you with any grief, loss of loved ones, depression, or anxiety in the comments. Make sure you subscribe so that you're always getting our videos to help you think different, to drink different, or never again.